Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tiravanachari. Jamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Jamuna Tiravanachari. Jamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Sri Sri Radha Madhava Ki Jai Nitya Leela Vishnu Mr. Prabhupada His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Gauri Vaishnava Ki Sadguru Swami Prabhu Ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Shama Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhana Ki Brajabhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki Grantara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Ki Bolo Sri Sri Krishna Baldao Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the Assembled. All glories to the Assembled. All glories to the Assembled. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 7, Chapter number 2, Hiranyakashipu, King of the Demons. Text number 9. Tasmin kute hite nashte krita mule vanas pato vitapa iva Shushyanti Vishnu Prana Divokasa Tasmin Kute Te Nashte Krita Mule Vanaspato Vitapa Iva Shushyanti Vishnu prana vidivogasa. Tasmin kute hite nashte. Krita mule vanaspato. Vitapa iva shushyanti. Vishnu prana divokasa. Tasmin kute hite nashte. Krita mule vanaspato. Vitapa iva sushyanti. Iva sushyanti. Vishnu prana divokasa. Ladies? Tasmin, when he, kute, the most deceitful. We've heard of kutimati, huh? The most deceitful. Ahite, enemy. Naste is finished. Kritamule, having its roots cut off. Vanaspato, a tree. Vitapaha, the branches and leaves. Iva, like. Shushyanti, dry up. Vishnu pranaha, whose life is Lord Vishnu. Diva okasa, the demigods. Translation: when the root of a tree is cut and the tree falls down, its branches and twigs automatically dry up. Similarly, when I have killed this diplomatic Vishnu, the demigods, for whom Lord Vishnu is the life and soul, will lose the source of their life and wither away. So here it says, the most deceitful, but Prabhupada translated diplomatic Lord Vishnu. Same thing. So translation, please repeat. When the root of a tree is cut and the tree falls down, its branches and twigs automatically dry up. Similarly, when I have killed this diplomatic Vishnu, the demigods, for whom Lord Vishnu is the life and soul, will lose the source of their life and wither away. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. The difference between the demigods and the demons is here explained. The demigods always follow the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas the demons simply plan to disturb or kill him. Nevertheless, sometimes the demons very much appreciate the full dependence of the demigods upon the mercy of the Lord. This is indirect glorification of the demigods by the demons. So as we discussed yesterday, demigods, they're always under the illusion that somehow Lord Vishnu is just like them and that they will be able to kill him. Oh, there's my old friend. Okay. So they're under some illusion that they will be able to kill him. But here Prabhupada gives them one good quality, that they appreciate that the demigods are dependent upon Lord Vishnu. But they think, Krita Mule, just like when you go to Vrindavan during Kartik time, then all the push carts, they're selling this big long white radish. We call it muli, because it's a big long white root. So they're appreciating that Lord Vishnu is the root of the demigods. If we finish him off, then the demigods are automatically finished off. He said this is always a demon's plan. So this is tiny purport. We'll go to the next verse. So I'll just read the Sanskrit. Tavadyata bhuvanyuyam brahma shatra sameditam sudayan. Negative principles and charity. Destroy all the people thus engaged. Purport. Hiranyakashipu's main purpose was to disturb the demigods. He planned first to kill Lord Vishnu, so that with Lord Vishnu's death, the demigods would automatically weaken and die. Another of his plans was to disturb the residents of planet Earth. The peace and prosperity of the residents of Earth and all other planets were maintained by the Brahmins and Kshatriyas. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 13, Chaturvarnam maya sristam guna karma vibhagasa. According to the three modes of nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society were created by me. According to on all the planets there are different types of residents, but the Lord recommends, referring especially to the planet Earth, which is inhabited by human beings, that society be divided into four varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. Before the advent of Lord Krishna on this earth, it is understood that the earth was managed by the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas. The duty of the Brahmins is to cultivate samaha, dhammaha, self-control, titiksha, tolerance, satyam, truthfulness, socham, cleanliness, and arjavam, simplicity. And then to advise the Kshatriya kings how to rule the country or planet. Following the instructions of the Brahmanas, the Kshatriyas should engage the populace in austerity, sacrifices, Vedic study, and adhere to the rules and regulations established by the Vedic principles. They should also arrange for charity to be given by the Brahmins and to the Brahmins and sannyasis and temples. This is the godly arrangement of Brahminical culture. So here we see Hiranyakashipu's business was to simply disturb society. And he understood that the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas, they're the maintaining force. And Prabhupada quotes this verse from Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvainam maya sristam. It's like the modern atheistic people, they claim this system was set up by the Brahmanas because they're on top and everybody else was to be exploited by them. This is their... But here it says, maya sristam. Krishna, by his own lotus mouth, srishti we know means to create. So, maya sristam, it is my creation. It is not some devious plan by the Brahmins to dominate everybody. It is my creation. So the society will be guided properly. Because even the government, Prabhupada always criticized this so-called secular government. That even though the government may be secular, they don't demand that you follow this or that religion, but they should see that the people are religious. Because if people are religious, automatically, then all these things, self-control, titiksha, all these things develop. And now we see, they're saying secular means they don't care. Whatever you do, even to the point, they were telling me last night that now there's a law that on the birth certificate it doesn't have to say whether it's boy or girl, he'll decide later. It's completely crazy, sister. Government is totally crazy. So the Brahmanas, they're meant to give proper guidance. They study the Vedas. They're meant for study and performing austerities. Thus they can give proper guide to the Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas, they have this bhav, they want to rule, but they have to be guided. If a Kshatriya is not guided, then he'll just exploit. But the Brahmins give them proper instruction how to run the society peacefully. Just like when the British invaded India, they understood that the whole root of Vedic culture was the Brahmin. So they tried to break the people's dependence on the Brahmanas for advice. Therefore, all over the world, they taught people English to make them civilized. But in India, they taught people English to make them uncivilized. Because if they lose contact with their culture, then everything, we see the whole world's a hell. It's a completely hellish place. Everything is upside down. There's nothing proper. And whole purpose of people's life is to just enjoy to the maximum amount. But the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas are there to regulate people. That you have to be regulated. You can't be like a cat and dog. Cats and dogs, they can do anything. Just like Prabhupada always gives the example of the pig. He doesn't care. Mother, sister, daughter, he doesn't care. He just wants to have sex with everyone. So unless especially the sexes unless we regulate it, then the people become totally irresponsible. Because now the government's encouraging abortion and contraception, then the people become completely uncontrolled. Then we see that so many problems. The marriages aren't keeping together. Because when the whole goal of life is just to enjoy, then what does it matter with my wife or anyone else? Doesn't care. They become irresponsible completely. And the children, just imagine, you'll see in Western countries, for 3 months the kid lives with his father, for 3 months he lives with his mother. And mother's married with someone else and father's married with someone else. What will happen to their minds? How can they be peaceful? How can you create a peaceful society with such a situation? So the government has to see that the people are religious. We may not demand that you follow this or that religion, but you must follow religion, because religion is meant to control the senses of the people so that they will become peaceful. Because sense gratification is like a fire. The more you pour gasoline on the fire, it's not that, by pouring gasoline, the fire will be satisfied. It blazes further and further. The more you engage in sense gratification, the more agitated you become. So Krishna says, Maya Srishtam, this is my creation, these 4 divisions. The Kshatriya is there to rule, but they have to, under the guidance of the Brahmins who are studying the Vedic instructions. So we see that somehow or other, I don't know how much it was, but 1,000 years of Mughal rule, still Vedic culture was there. Even despite what the British did by teaching them English and breaking because all the Brahmins had a school and they would teach, but it was taught in the local language. But by teaching them English, they broke their dependence on the Brahmins. Still it went on. But what the Mughals couldn't do in 1,000 years, and the British couldn't do whatever, 150 years or whatever, Hollywood is done in 50 years. They've completely destroyed. This is they're the new Hiranyakashipus. People are inclined to offer yajna because unless sacrifices are offered, there will be insufficient rain. Yagyad bhavati parjanya, which will hamper agricultural activities. Parjanyad anasambhava. By introducing Brahminical culture, therefore, a Kshatriya government should engage people in performing yajna, studying the Vedas, giving charity. Thus the people will receive their necessities for life very easily, and there will be no disturbance in the society. In this regard, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 12, Istan bhogan hi ho deva dasyante yagya bhavita tayardattam apradaya bhyo yo bhunkte stena evasa. In charge of the various necessities of life, the demigods, being satisfied by the performance of yajna, sacrifice, supply all necessities to man. But he who enjoys his gifts without offering to the demigods in return is certainly a thief. So this is the key, just like we're having this crazy weather all over the planet, because people are just exploiting. Because the goal of life is to enjoy, so everybody just trying to exploit the resources of material nature to the fullest extent. So everybody becomes a competitor to do that. So that everyone becomes my enemy. I want to enjoy, but there's only so much things that to enjoy. Just like we see in India, there's 1% of the population controls 40% of the wealth. So all these imbalances are there. Here Krishna clearly says they're a thief. If we don't perform yajna, then they're a thief. So this is the government's business, to engage the people in yajna. Then automatically rain will come properly, and grains will grow properly. Everything, then there won't be any so-called problems. All these so-called problems are created by the men. Animals have no problem. They're eating, sleeping, mating, doing very peacefully. But man is creating, just like we know in India, the British, they hoarded all the rice until everybody was starving. The millions of people died in Calcutta because they artificially created all these shortages. No shortage. Prabhupada said, I fly over the world. So much land is there vacant, uncultivated. There's no shortage of anything except Krishna consciousness. So by yajna, rains come. By rains, grains are provided. So this is the business of the Kshatriyas and Brahmanas. The demigods are authorized supplying agents who act on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Therefore, they must be satisfied by the performance of prescribed yajnas. In the Vedas, there are different kinds of yajnas prescribed for different kinds of demigods, but all are ultimately offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For one who cannot understand what the Supreme Personality of Godhead is, sacrifice to the demigods is recommended. According to the different material qualities of the persons concerned, different types of yajnas are recommended in the Vedas. Worship of different demigods is also on the same basis, then according to the qualities. For example, the meat-eaters are recommended to worship the goddess Kali, the ghastly form of material nature. And therefore, the goddess of the sacrifice of animals is recommended. But those for the mode of goodness, the transcendental worship of Vishnu is recommended. Ultimately, all yajnas are meant for gradual promotion to the transcendental position. For ordinary men, at least, 5 yajnas, known as Pancha Mahayajna, are necessary. So this is a process for having prosperity, as we have to perform yajnas. And all these different yajnas, although sometimes different demigods for different types of people are recommended, because gradually, by following the different yajnas, they see the result is coming. They're becoming, therefore they get some faith. And gradually, if they get the association of pure devotee, and by hearing from him, they can understand that Vishnu is the root of everything. That simply by, just like if we've got some contact with the tax officer, then we can get a few things done. If we have contact with other officer, but if we have contact with the prime minister, then we can get all our work done. So ultimately, it's meant to, because generally people in this world, they're very slow to do anything. So the Vedas, they slowly bring them to the proper standard. One should know, however, that all the necessities of life that human society requires are supplied by the demigod agents of the Lord. No one can manufacture anything. Consider, for example, all the eatables of human society. These eatables include grains, fruits, vegetables, milk, sugar, for persons in the mode of goodness, and also eatables for the non-vegetarians, such as meats, none of which can be manufactured by men. Then again, take for example heat, light, water, air, which are also necessities of life. None of them can be manufactured by human society. Without the Supreme Lord, there can be no profuse sunlight, moonlight, rainfall, or breeze, without which no one can live. Obviously, our life is dependent on supplies from the Lord. Even for our manufacturing enterprises, we require so many raw materials like metal, sulfur, mercury, manganese, and many essentials, all of which are supplied by the agents of the Lord, with the purpose that we should make proper use of them to keep ourselves fit and healthy for the purpose of self-realization, leading to the ultimate goal of life, namely liberation from the material struggle for existence. This aim of life is attained by performance of yagas. If we forget the purpose of human life and simply take supplies from the agents of the Lord for sense gratification and become more and more entangled in material existence, which is not the purpose of creation, certainly we become thieves, and therefore we are punished by the laws of material nature. A society of thieves can never be happy, for they have no aim in life. The gross materialist thieves have no ultimate goal of life. They are simply directed to sense gratification, nor do they have knowledge of how to perform yagas. Lord Chaitanya, however, inaugurated the easiest performance of yaga, namely the Sankirtan yaga, which can be performed by anyone in the world who accepts the principles of Krishna consciousness. So again, here Prabhupada is emphasizing that, just like we see that despite the fact we're so advanced, there's no factory that can produce even a single grain of rice. They can do so many things. They can send telescopes way out into millions of light years into space and so many things, but they can't make one single grain of rice in their big factories. This we're dependent upon the Lord and His agents. So unless we satisfy them, then how there can be proper supplies of everything? Actually, Prabhupada said, only because we're chanting Hare Krishna is anything going on. And nobody's there, just like we need air to survive, but nobody's there, there's no factory that's producing the air. But by our factories, we very nicely polluted the air. We've polluted everything. By our mad rush for sense gratification, we've polluted the earth, we polluted the water, we polluted the air, everything, just like we read every once in a while in different parts of the ocean, there's these big whirlpools of plastic, just floating around and around, and so much so that it's getting into the whole system. Even now the earth is completely contaminated with all these microplastics. And I was reading an article the other day that now the food is becoming filled with microplastics, especially those things that are roots. Somehow the microplastics can't get past the roots into the other types of vegetables, especially carrots, potatoes, all these things. The microplastics can get into them. So we've just been our mad rush for sense gratification. We destroyed everything. But here by sacrifice, all these things are automatically provided. Just like we've seen so many times, just like Prabhupada went to, maybe it was Hyderabad or somewhere, there was a big drought going on. And Prabhupada had all the devotees do big Harinam Sankirtan. And immediately next day there was rain. And I've seen so many times in Vrindavan, we do some big fire yajna for initiation or for some other reason, next day always it rains. So this is the way. If we want to have a peaceful life, then we have to perform sacrifice. So this is Hiranyakashipu's plan, how to stop all this. Like your Prabhupada says, if we take things without offering to the agents of the Lord, just for a sense gratification, then we become thieves. That's why we see everybody in this material world is always in anxiety. Because a thief, he's always in anxiety. Maybe that's a policeman in disguise, plainclothesman, he's always, every time he's feeling anxiety. So we see everyone in the material world is always in anxiety because they're a thief. Whatever they have, they've stolen, and so naturally they're a thief. We're worrying about this and that. But our Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, he sings very beautiful song. What is that? Manasa deha geha jo kichu mohor arpitlum duapade nanda kishore. He says, Manasa deha. Deha we know means body, manasa means the mind. Manasa deha, geha, this is simple for griha, house. Jo kichu more, whatever is mine, I offer to you. Nanda Kishore. So we're all in anxiety about this and that and so many things, and because we're thinking, when I'm going to get caught, when I'm going to get, was that the policeman? Or there's a policeman. It's, normal person, we see a policeman, feel happy. But a thief, as soon as he's a policeman, maybe he's going to get me. Always in anxiety. But Bhaktivedanta prays that I'm giving, because ultimately, death is going to take everything away from us. The time of death, we're thinking, my beautiful house. No, that's going to stay right where it is. But what about my wife? No, she will only follow the body up to the door. But what about all my wealth? That will stay in the bank. In old days, it was with the baniya. It's almost like bank baniya. But what, I have all my, have my car. No, that's going to stay in the garage. But all my children, they will follow you up to the cremation ghat. But have all my friends, they will also only follow up the cremation ghat. But my body, no, that will be burned to ashes. You'll go by yourself. So we're going to have to give up everything anyway. So Bhaktivedanta recommends, Manasa deha geha jo kichu more arpilum duapade nanda kishore. I'm offering everything to the lotus feet of Nanda Kishore. Then we have nothing to lose. They have no more anxiety. We're just dependent completely on Krishna. That is the whole point. Now we're thieves. We're stealing everything without offering anything to the demigods. The whole society, everything, so much disturbance and so much anxiety. But when one surrenders to Krishna, then he's peaceful. Bhaktivedanta is giving it, because we're going to have to give up everything anyway. So either you give it up at the end with great fear, or you give it up to Krishna now with love. This is your choice. You wait to the end, then everything's going to be taken. Even this body, which is so dear to us, is going to be taken. So we offer everything to Krishna now. We're going to lose it anyway, so we offer now. Arpilum duapade, to your two lotus feet, duapade, Nanda Kishore, oh Nanda Kishore. Everything is yours. Just like one time, one gentleman was there and his friend came to see him. And he said, oh, you have such a beautiful house. He said, no, this is Lord's house. He said, have you such a beautiful wife? No, she's Lord's. You have so obedient children, they're also Lord's. And then he saw inside the house so much furniture. Oh, this is very nice. This is all Lord's. Then there was some room, and there was some little brass statue there with laddu in his hand. And the man said, his friend said, what's that? he said, oh, he's mine. Everything else is Lord's, but he's mine. This is our only possession. We just want Krishna's lotus feet. That's the only possession of the devotee. So here Hiranyakashipu, he's thinking somehow or other, and he's right. If we destroy Brahminical culture and proper kshatriyas, proper type of administration, then we destroy the whole society. So Hiranyakashipu, we see he was not unintelligent. He was intelligent, but his intelligence was maya prita jnana. It was destroyed by illusion. He's thinking somehow or other, I'll kill this Lord Vishnu. So in the meantime, let me somehow destroy this Brahminical culture. Let me stop people from being religious. Just like we saw the communist countries, they tried to make, worship of God illegal. They gave the churches as much trouble as they could. But still, we see in such a place, Krishna consciousness is going like garam jalebis. Because we are all part and parcel of God. So the natural tendency of the soul within is to worship God. You may try to artificially make it atheistic, just like they were trying to say God is dead. But now they're seeing the result is that more and more people are religious. More and more people are becoming devotees, and Muslims are growing like anything. They're seeing all over the world religion is growing. Maybe not the one they want, but anyway, people are becoming more and more turning towards alternative religions, because the so-called religions that we have are not satisfying or somehow or other. So, but people are becoming, therefore they see all this, all these things going on. So anyway, this is Hiranyakashipu's plan. I will kill Lord Vishnu. Meanwhile, you go to the earth and just disturb Brahminical culture and Kshatriya culture as much as possible, so that they'll be completely disturbed and we can easily conquer them. This is just the nature of the demons. It's like we always read about the demigods and the demons having a fight, but it's always the demons who started it. The demigods are having a good time. They don't want to bother anybody, But demons, just that's their nature. They have to bother. If you're having a good time, they want to bother you somehow or another. That's their nature, to always give trouble. So this is the plan of Hiranyakashipu. So anybody have any questions or comments? This is wonderful purport by Prabhupada, very comprehensive purport. Yes. Oh, we have to wait for Bhakta Mike. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Deena Bandhu Prabhu, you are welcome to Melbourne.
Hare Krishna.
As you said, we have to go to the spiritual emancipation. The Krishna says in 9:22, Anyas Chintanto Mam, Yedana Prapaste Tesham Bhaktanam Yogyamo Vahana. So he gives a full policy that if you take care, if you surrender to me, then I'll always take care. As you said, Manav Deha.
Yes.
So, thank you very much for a wonderful class.
No, I forgot one point, because ultimately Prabhupada points out that of all sacrifice, especially in this age of Kali, the main sacrifice, because it's very difficult to do all these other yagyas, main sacrifice is chanting very enthusiastically and very loudly, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Prabhupada spent so much time making this point that we have to do yagya. Now he says that Lord Chaitanya said in this age, this Sankirtan yagya will satisfy everything. And Prabhupada, that's the only reason the sun and the moon, anything is still shining, is because we're doing some Sankirtan. Any other questions? Yes?
Prabhu, thank you for the nice class. Sanket.
Yeah.
So my question is, so we do Hare on the streets because we can sacrifice those sacrifices. So then why is there like shortage of food and goods? Are we not doing the Hare in a proper way?
Well, Prabhupada said the only reason there's anything is because we're doing, because we're just reading now, because everything is mismanaged by the human society. Nobody is trying for self-realization. Their only goal in life is sense gratification. Therefore, they're creating havoc all over the world. Prabhupada said there's land is, I'm flying an airplane, I'm seeing land is everywhere, enough land for everything. But the human society, we're creating all the problems. But we see devotees, even if they're in trouble, devotees still feel it's Krishna's mercy. Because we're lazy in this Kali Yuga. As soon as things are nice, then we forget about God. Everything's nice. Just like we see so many people come to the temple, they're completely distressed, they become devotees, after a while they become a little happy, and then they go back to enjoying in the material world. We're fair weather devotees. As long as it's nice, then we're devotees. As soon as there's some trouble, then we go away. So, no more questions? Okay, we have one more behind you. Oh, I forget now the point I remember. So therefore we get little pricks to keep us reminded that this material world is a nasty place. Krishna keeps us on our toes, Otherwise, we're just, as soon as it's soft, we become soft. So Krishna keeps the devotees. And sometimes he takes everything away, just like Prabhupada said. I'm sitting here in Vrindavan, and all I have is a list of names. Because as soon as one has no money, he has no friends. As soon as you have money, you have so many friends. Just like Mukunda Maharaj told me, because he was there in the very beginning, that Prabhupada got that loft on the Bowery because there was some young fellow from California. He got a big inheritance from his parents, and he thought, I will go to New York and become a famous artist. So he rented this loft. They're called AIR, not All India Radio, but Artist in Residence. And he paid the rent for the whole year. And suddenly, because he had money, all of a sudden he had so many friends. And eventually he saw all those friends were just exploiting him. And he had a mental breakdown. So he told Prabhupada, Swamiji, you can take that loft. I've already paid the rent for the whole year, but I'm going back I can't take it here in New York. Everybody's just exploiting me. So as soon as you have money, everybody exploits. So sometimes Krishna takes everything away. So Prabhupada, I have a list of names. He was thinking somehow or other going to make money and spread Krishna consciousness. But Krishna took everything away. Then he surrendered completely, and without any money, somehow he came to America. 40 rupees that's not even 2 minutes kharch in America. And then when he became fully Krishna conscious, Krishna gave him everything. He has so many beautiful, just like this temple is so beautiful. We were just in New Govardhan. It's one of the most beautiful properties in all of ISKCON. We have, Krishna gave Prabhupada everything. But sometimes he gives us a little pinch to keep us on our toes. So anyway, we have, somehow or other, we mailed it on the 8th. Of 4th we mailed it. Oh my goodness. And just now and yesterday our books have come, Braj Leela Part 1 and Part 2. So after class we can go out, we'll have them outside, and I'm also here to sign them. And it's not formal writing, but the way I talk, that's the way the book is. These two, this is one half of Braj Mandal Prikrama, the other is the other half of Braj Mandal Prikrama. So we have Braj Leela Part 1 and 2, and somehow they finally managed to, at least one box finally arrived here in Melbourne. So we can all fall down at the very soft and wonderful lotus feet of that great personality who's again trying to establish this Brahminical culture. Srila Prabhupada ki.